So I think if we're all good, just we have been started the recording anyway, but we will give just a couple of minutes for other people to join. Otherwise, I believe we could get started with this session. Let me know, Andrea and Masato, if you also Juan Sebastian, if you agree with this.
Sounds good.
So while we get started, I will start by introducing myself. I am Juan Lozano, part of the team from Impactia, and I will be moderating this session today with great joy because of the great experience that we've been building around Silver Region. The session will run for around 60 minutes, and it is being recorded at the same time, and we will make the recording available both on the Impactia platform and on Región Plateada's YouTube channel, so you will know. I guess we're ready to begin. And thanks for everybody for joining. As you come in, please do just introduce yourselves on the chat box. Leave us your name, the country you're connecting from, and the organization that you are connected to. Thank you very much for joining us. So I think we will start with the presentation. And well, what can we expect from this session? And number one key thing we will start with is we will want to explain to you what is the program context, and IDB Lab will be helping us with the introduction to this. We have Mr. Masato Okumura joining us on behalf of IDB Labs today, and he will be, as I've mentioned, telling us a little bit more about the context in which Silver Region has been not only developed but is being implemented. The second point is we will talk a little bit, and this really will be led by Maria Andrea Orduz from Fundación Cesana. She will let us know a little bit more about the terms of reference. She'll make a brief introduction to the call for proposals and give us a bit more details on some of the general characteristics of the call. After then, we'll touch upon something that we've all been there. We value very dearly when somebody can give us a little bit of guidance and tips on how to apply. And in this case, Grupo Impacta will be leading our team on giving us this information. So Juan will be helping us with this. And finally, the fourth part of the agenda here is to really, hopefully, to spend even more time on this as we can, to give you all the opportunity to raise your hands, send us some questions, so we can address those questions as in the best way we can. So having said this, well, let me then pass the microphone over to Mr. Masato Okumura. He's the senior specialist at IDB Labs Discovery Unit, where he designs innovation projects for inclusion across Latin America and the Caribbean. And he's a champion of the Silver Economy Initiative at the IDB Group. He's been a champion of this, not only this initiative, but this whole topic for years. And I know you'll be captivated by the passion that runs through his words as he explains why IDB is interested in this. So Masato, thank you so much for joining us, for taking a bit of your time to share here with us, and I'll pass it on to you then.
Thank you very much, Juan, for the introduction. Thank you, Maria Andrea, and all the colleagues who worked for organizing this session and also this entire initiative. And of course, thank you very much for all who joined this session. I know your time is precious and everybody is running for many things, but we believe that we can share something which is very, very relevant for the region, for your country, and for the life of all of us. So thank you for joining. Maybe we can go to the next page. I work for IDB Group. I don't know how much you know about IDB Group, but this is a developmental institution, a finance institution, and that works for 26 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. And I myself belong to IDB Lab, which is a kind of innovation laboratory, also the venture arm of the IDB Group. And of course, we have the IDB who works mainly directly with the governments offering loans. And also we have IDB Invest. This is similar to the IFC, International Finance Corporation of the World Bank Group, that works for the same mandate, but with the private sector. And we IDB Lab, where I belong, it's something unique that works closely with IDB and IDB Invest. And the Silver Region is one of the initiatives, one of the projects that belongs to a larger initiative called the Silver Economy. And we, IDB Lab and IDB Invest, we are working all together in this initiative. Why we are working on this initiative, the Silver Economy? Because we believe that this is urgent. Here, I always like to share this article from New York Times that was talking about the aging world. And it was 2 years ago. Today, we see more and more articles, books, interviews, TV programs that talks about this issue. But why this is important? And this provocative article said the following: there are two kinds of people in the world. Those who believe the defining challenge of this century is the climate change. And there's another group who know that there's another challenge, which is aging or the demographic change. And of course, the point is not to debate which is more important and compete between two challenges. But the point is, we believe that the second challenge that I mentioned, the demographic change or aging, we are not paying enough attention. And this is coming very rapidly. We need to pay attention with some level of urgency. Can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So if we see the region, our region, Latin America and the Caribbean, the basic numbers, we have 70 million people, older people in the region, over 60, okay? And that has been doubled in the last 3 decades. And that will be double, even more in the coming decades towards 2050. So the change is very, very rapid. And if you see this graphic, the data, the number of 2020, 12.8% in the region of Latin America and the Caribbean, LSA, this is the abbreviation in Spanish, but Latin America and the Caribbean, LAC countries. So 12%, meaning 1 in 8 people was 60 years old or over. Okay. And it's going to be 1 in 4 people in less than 30 years, 27.4%. So the change is big and very rapid. And if you see the order, if you see other regions, all the regions will have higher rate of older people, but Latin America and the Caribbean will be the third region in the ranking, and it is now 5th. Why it happens? Because the change is the faster than any other region has experienced in the history. So we need to think about the speed, the velocity of this change. And also, if you see and stay in the previous slide, thank you. If you see other regions, on the top, we see Europe, and we see US and Canada. And in Asia, we have Japan and Korea. They have the higher rate of older people or aging, having a certain level of economic development. But Latin America and the Caribbean, together with maybe some East Asian, Southeast Asian countries, will be the first region that will have a high level of aging without the higher level of economic development that Europe or US, Canada, or Japan, Korea has. So again, speed and the level of economic development, it's going to be even more difficult for the region of Latin America and the Caribbean. Now let's go to the next slide. And this phenomenon is widespread in all over the region. So it's a little bit busy, small, the numbers, but we are having here 26 countries in the region on the left. And on the right-hand side, we have the number for Asia, US, and Europe. So if you see the first country, Chile, or the Barbados, Costa Rica, and the 5th will be Trinidad and Tobago, and 6th, Jamaica, including several Caribbean countries, they will have the rate of over 60, more than 30% or around 30%. So 1 in 3 people will be 60 or over. And it's worthwhile to think about that number, actually visualize what's going to happen in 2050 with this population. And yes, some countries will be exceptions or are free from this phenomenon, like Guyana, Guatemala, Belize, but still, it's a question of time, and it's happening very rapidly in the region. So what's going to happen, actually? What do you think, what comes to your mind when you think about the aging? Maybe you think about the next image, something like that. We may lose the physical strength, mobility. The next slide, we may be sick, or we may need care services. And the both pictures show some kind of sad or melancholic images, right? But now we saw the next one. The aging, or the process of the demographic change is experiencing a huge change as well. Now we are having longer, healthier life. 60 years or 70 years, people of 60, 70 years of age today is completely different from the same generation 20 or 30 years ago. Now we don't only live longer, we live longer with a better health. And some people can enjoy traveling. And next slide. Okay, sorry. Some people can also work and study, right? So with that new focus on the productive and positive side of the aging, we've been working in these 4 pillars. One is entrepreneurship. The second one, and health and care. And third one, talent and employment, how to make older people, facilitate or the employment of older people. And the last one is the financial innovation. And go to the next slide. And today we'll talk about the health and care. Where the next slide, the last one, Silver Region Project, Región Plateada in Spanish, in English it's going to be Silver Region, is the most ambitious and strategic project we have in the care pillar. Before passing the microphone to Maria Andrea, who will share the detail of this project, let me show a little bit more information why this is important. You can check these kind of publications that we've made. The first one is a kind of concept paper, and the second one is mapping of some actors in the silver economy. All of them, except for the last one, is available in English as well. So you can have a look. And also in the next page, we also have some podcast series. Again, I'm sorry to say that these are only available in Spanish at this moment, but for those who speak Spanish, it can be a good material to understand the basics of our vision and what we've been doing. And all of them are very easy reading or easy listening. So I would recommend you to get on this for your coffee time or whenever you have some time. And the last one, before passing to Maria Andrea, the care is very, very important. Today, we estimate that there are 8 million people, older people, who need care services in the region. And it's going to be almost triple, 23 million. So it's a huge, huge change, increase, exponential increase. And there's a huge, huge challenge, because if we don't modernize, innovate the industry, we may have a catastrophe. But as Maria Andrea will explain, we also see huge, huge opportunities for inclusion, for employment, for innovation. So that's what we want to promote with this ambitious project, Silver Region. With that, I'll pass it to Maria Andrea. Thank you.
Masato, before we move on to Maria Andrea, let me just get a little bit off script, as I usually tend to do, and to spice things a little bit. Why don't we, with a little bit of spoiler alert, you've described a little bit the types of problems and the reflection of, why we need to be doing things like what we're doing in Silver Region. We've already started many months ago, and we've already started seeing some of the results. Why don't you give us a small preview so far of what are the kinds of things Silver Region has already been showing that come as a solution to various of the problems or the challenges that you've just described?
Of course, Juan, thank you. And I also love to step out from the script. So thank you for the question. And try not to take too long time, because I tend to get also too passionate and take too much time. But Silver Region has been amazing, leaving very interesting achievements so far. Correct me, Maria Andrea, if I say something wrong or some wrong numbers, but the first achievement was this challenge we will share today is the second round of the challenge. The first round is already closed several months ago, and we received hundreds of applications. The final application we got was 300 and something, over 300. And that was a pleasant surprise, because when we did a similar kind of challenge in 2021, not about the care economy, but about the entire silver economy, we got 180 applications. Today, we only with CARE, we got 300 applications from NGOs and from startups. And so there are more and more interest in working all together to innovate this industry. People are already working on it and thinking about it. So that's one achievement. The second achievement, we all together selected 30 strong applicants, and they are giving the trainings, and we are selecting some of them who will get financing. Now, one thing we could confirm is they all are very, very strongly committed to make social impact. Okay, and this is the basic, but very important for us development institutions, because we work at the slogan of our IDB group is to improve the lives of the people, and especially poor and vulnerable people. And all those institutions have strong commitments. At the same time, with this, I'll close my intervention, but we see some necessity to promote more the business side of the solutions, because as I quickly shared, the number of the demand, the size of the demand will be triple. So if you keep doing what you've been doing, you may be able to increase, I don't know, by 20% your offer, or maybe 50%, but it's not going to be sufficient. It's not going to be enough. We need to introduce innovations in many areas within the care sector. So that's something we see many interesting Cs, but still we want more and more entrepreneurs, NGOs who are innovators. Maybe I finish it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, I just wanted to create a little bit of, of expectations in terms of why we're all gathering here, why we're all so excited, what are the types of results we're already seeing. With that said, of course, I'm going to pass it on to Maria Andrea Orduz. And Maria Andrea, thanks for joining us as well. Maria Andrea is the program coordinator of Región Plateada of Silver Region at Fundación Arturo Cesana. Thanks to Andrea, we will be able to walk through a little bit what the second call is all about. What are the eligibility, some of the themes, the stages, the topics, selection criteria. So thank you so much again, also, Andrea, for joining us. You've become one of the top champions of the region around silver economy, and we're very, very proud to be working side by side with you, with the Fundación as well. And the floor is all yours to enlighten us with the passion that drives also through your veins around this topic.
Thank you, Juan, and thank you, Masato. And I'm pleased to be here with you talking a bit about Silver Region. This is a program funded by the IDB Lab and Cesana Foundation, among other actors. And our goal is to strengthen the care ecosystem for older people. We plan to achieve this through 3 interventions. The first one is generating knowledge about the current state of the ecosystem. So for those who have explored the application form, you can see that there are several questions, because what we want is to understand how the ecosystem is working. And this will help us not only qualify or decide which companies can go through the next stage of the program, but also how can we improve our acceleration program, how can we improve the way we deliver the program to basically enhance our performance. Second of all, we want to build entrepreneurial capacity. So we want to, through the acceleration program, we expect the companies that go through this program to enhance their business model, and the growth plan for the companies, and to focus on a more long-term view of the planning of the project. And third, we also want to strengthen the ecosystem, the care ecosystem, by financing those companies with the greatest potential for impact. So after the acceleration program, as you might have seen in terms of reference, we want to fund through a grant. So it's not like an investment, it's a grant that we provide for those who are the more scalable or can have the highest impact. Next one, please. Thanks. So we're looking for projects on the following topics. The first one is innovative and impactful solutions on care services. The second one is training of caregivers. And the third one is prevention of functional dependence, understanding this as physical and cognitive. And we want to promote the autonomy of people over 60 years old. Next one, please. It's so easy to apply. You just need to file the form, and the requirement is to be formally constituted as a legal entity. You don't have to be constituted here in Latin America. You can be legally established among any country, but you must have at least 1 year operating with your project, and also have some sort of sales. So we don't expect you to have over 20 million or something, absurd. We just want you to evidence or to show us that you have had sales before. Next one, please. So what we want is initiatives and projects that are planning to be implemented among these countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. This is the list of the 26 countries that are part of IDB. So that's why our target, it's among those countries. Next one, please, the deadline. Perfect. And the deadline to apply is September 21st. It's important to keep in mind that we have grants up to $100,000. And keep this in mind because it's a grant. We only ask for a bit, of commitment when receiving these funds, but it's not like equity, it's not any other sort of investment that requires other, returns for the grant. It's just a good grant that could be an impactful tool for the company that it's selected for this. Next one, please. Some precisions. So as I already mentioned, each proposal is submitted by a for-profit company. You can have partnerships among the implementation with NGOs, with universities or governments, but only for-profit companies can fill the form. They have to be responsible when applying for this call. So if you're a public or non-profit entity, you will not be eligible to lead the application. Also, as I said, companies by Latin American Caribbean, you need to keep in mind that for phase 1 and phase 2 is the program acceleration program. You can just apply with any program. But phase 3, that is when you receive the funding, you must be legally constituted here in Latin America and the Caribbean. And that could be for different ways. So, for example, if you find a great partner during phase 2, you can just make an alliance with them and apply for the funding. And third, the sales amount refers to the solution being submitted. It might also correspond to the initiatives that are already implemented and that are ready also to be adapted for the older adults. So if you want to silverize a a project that's already working, that's already been successful through your implementation and with your program, with your company, and you want to adapt it for older people, that can also work too. Next one, please. The stages. The first one is the open call until September 21st. After that, we select up to 30 companies for the program, the acceleration program, where you will receive several trainings. We can see that after this slide. And the third phase is financing, like delivering the funding for the selected companies. Next one, please. The acceleration phase, as I told you, would be up to 30 organizations or companies, and you will have access to workshops and individual counseling for months. And after that, during the funding phase, we will select up to 4 initiatives per cohort for receiving the non-reimbursable or grant funding. It is important to keep in mind that the acceleration program works as a way of selecting the best projects, the most scalable, the ones that have more innovation, that include also technology. So it's this three-month program will be key for you to be applying to the next phase of funding. Next one, please. Among the criteria, we have scalability, business potential, and also the potential impact towards vulnerable population. This is for you to just go for the acceleration program. But then, next one, please. For the selection criteria on phase 3, we want to see more. We want to see how the projects actually incorporated user orientation, gender lens. How are they involving older people on the delivery of the program, but also on the design of the project? How is the staff being training? How are they focusing on digitalization? And also the commitment with the project of each company. So remember, keep in mind that we'll have funding of up to $100,000 per company. And next one, please. And each phase, of course, will have some benefits. The first one is with the open call. You will have a diagnosis of your entrepreneurial capacity. You will have access to understand how your company is executing or is compared against the other companies that are applying to this call. This is important because we also provide feedback on which areas you can focus to improve. Then you will also have access to virtual spaces to share the results of this diagnosis, and you can just it will be super interactive, and with Group Impacta that's also here with us, it will help us understand all the segments of the document that you will receive as a diagnosis. The third one is a sensitization workshop that's already launched on gender silver economy issues. This is key for you to understand the basis of how gender issues combine also with silver matters. And finally, well, you'll be connected to an innovative network. You'll be invited to different events. We are committed to building a huge and strong network. So what we want is not only to have you applying to this call, but also invite you to other events, invite you to the networking cases that we have among the program. For the acceleration phase, of course, you have a strengthening and training business skills with classes and all of that. You will have personalized accompaniment, for that word. And you will have someone, or a mentor, a tutor, going by your side to help you structure your growth and investment plan. You'll also have access, well, some of you, because that's like a lottery. Some of you, depending on the effort and the connections that you generate, you can also have a subscription to Impactia, some pro accounts, and that could help you also reach other funders, other investors, not only in Silver Region, but in the whole world. And finally, for the financing phase, so you can have up to $100,000 per program, per company, and you also have visibility in the Silver ecosystem. Last one, some precisions. The selected solutions must.
Okay,
Perfect.
good afternoon to you all. And now,
Sorry. So the selected solutions must mobilize a similar amount of financial resources as matching funds in cash or in kind. The matching percentage and amount will be agreed upon phase 3. That means if you ask for $1, you have to be able to also invest into the same program that you want to implement, or the project, $1. 50% in kind and 50% in cash. So we have different amounts for the funding, so like tickets funding, and you can have access of that on our platform, Silver Region Fundación, fondoregionplateada.com, on the website.
We'll share with all you the website. But Maria Andrea, as we move on to the rest of the presentation, I'm going to ask you the same question I passed on to Masato. You've been also from the beginning of Silver Region. You've been there. You've seen the evolution of the first cohorts as well. Why don't you tell us a couple of great, interesting stories that you've seen as the program has been developed in these almost 2 years? Misha.
Okay, so the first one is that I've noticed that this sector of silver economy works different than other sectors. There's a lot of collaborative vision. So everyone is trying to improve their own projects or services, but they share their knowledge. They share their lessons learned. So that's key. And in a program as Silver Region, with the acceleration program, it's amazing, because then you have people or companies that are far away, like they have great products and they have over 15 years of experience, for example, but they're also working, or they're also interacting with companies with less than 5 people, less than 5 years of being consolidated. So it's important that dialogue happens. So that'd be one of the first one. And the other one, it's that as a proof that we're not only wanting to implement a program on this is not something only for the winners. I want to give an example of Porta. Porta is a company that was among the 30 accelerated companies in the first cohort. They didn't receive the funding. They didn't win, but they were with us in the Impact Minds summit with Latimpacto in Medellin last week. We invited them there because for us it's key to give them the visibility that they deserve. It's not only about winning something, it's about building a community. It's also about connecting you as companies with the right investors or with the right people for your project to grow. That'll be it. And So I want to also introduce the next part one, if you're okay, because we're gonna have a short video of Javier from Grupo Impacta. He couldn't make it today, but he sent us this, and he's gonna explain us how to apply step by step to the call. So if we can play it, that'd be amazing.
Okay,
Perfect.
good afternoon to you all. And now I will shortly show you like the basic steps to have like a very friendly, good user experience while you are filling the form. So please let me show you some basic, just a moment. Are you seeing my slides now?
Yes.
Yes, we are. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. So most of you probably will get to the form through our landing page in the web page of Impactia, in the button of apply your initiative here, or also you can get to the form with the link below, the one that will lead you to the platform Alchemer. So now, most of you probably will, the moment you click there, will get to a platform that has Spanish as the default language configuration. So the first step will be to change the language to English. You can do that by going to the top right corner of the screen, where you will see like a little globe icon. You can click there and you can see the English option, so you can switch. And you can switch it at any moment during the process of filling the form, during any page. And now, the first page that you will see will be our minimum requirements for appliance. Before telling you about the questions in this part, it's important for you to read the first part of the page, as it will remember you about the instructions I will tell you now. So the first part is to fill the 6 questions about the minimum requirements that you need to fill, that to meet. I'm sorry. Those are basically the ones that Maria Andrea basically told you about. The first, fill please the name of the venture or entity. Second, select the topic of your initiative or program or service offering. Remember that you can choose all that apply. Several topics can apply to a single initiative, but if you want to participate with several initiatives, you will have to fill this form one time per initiative. And then is the question of if you meet to have sales exceeding $0. Basically, it's to have achieved any level of sales on the last year. And here, taking into account what Maria Andrea said, that we are talking here about sales like in a big way, like we are here including grants, funding, faculty revenue for universities. The important thing is that it's revenue of any sort, of any of those sources that can be attributed to having delivered a service related to one of these 3 topics, okay? As long as it's any source of income related to that, then you can meet this requirement. And please keep in mind that definition, that big definition of sales, because when in any other part of the form we talk about sales, we will be talking about that revenue. Last is in this page is the legal incorporation date. Remember that to be in this call, you have to be legally subscribed before August 31 of 2023. And after, it will also ask you about the nature of your enterprise, the legal structure, one of the 3 that is allowed in the terms of reference, and also the country of where your initiative is legally incorporated. Now, if you meet each and every one of those 6 requirements, you will be able to continue filling the form. But if you fail in any one of them, you will see a screen like this. This is not a mistake. This is not an error. It basically tells you that we are grateful for your effort in applying, but that you do not meet the requirements. Keeping that in mind, that you are encouraged to keep reviewing our page in case for you apply for the next, the second and third calls. If, on the other hand, you meet each and every one of those minimum requirements, then you will get to the second page, which is the registration page. Now, the moment you arrive to this page, I strongly recommend you to go to the top right part of the screen again and hit the Save and Continue Later button, the one that it's in this red circle. If you do that, it will ask you twice for an email address. When you give save, then basically it will send you a personalized link that you can use at any moment to come back to this form. So for example, if you are planning to just fill in the first part of the form and you want to fill the part of the financial information later, you can do that as long as you have done this step. Once you do that, the email that you will get will look like this. Comes from an address that it's called nonreply@alchemer.com, and basically from now on you will get to the form only through that link. If you get to the form through the first link you used, it will get you to a completely blank form. So please save this in a folder so you can come back anytime. Now, if you exactly met all the minimum requirements, this is the structure of the form. These are all the sections. In the registration part, we will ask you about the entrepreneur lead, the lead entrepreneur of the entity. Keep in mind that for NGOs, non-for-profits, or foundations, the role of the lead entrepreneur will be that of the person that calls all the strategic and managerial decisions of the entity. For example, it can be the president or the vice president of the foundation. It has just to meet like draw the chart of where the project is going, all the decisions around the structure of the project you are participating with in this call, and of the entity. Therefore, he does not have to be the legal representative of the entity. He just has to have that leading role. After, you will see three sections: user orientation, general information, and description of the business model. Those three sections in light green in this slide, those are ask you about particular information on the program, initiative, or service offering. So in that part, you have to be very specific of what your proposal is for this call. And keep in mind, again, if you are, for example, in the description of the business model, you will be asked about the solution, the need you identified and how you are trying to solve it, about the structure of the business model you are developing around it, what competitors you have, what is your target market and current market, your allies, your milestones, and so on. But if you are an NGO, a foundation, or a non-for-profit, keep in mind that you are here asked to fill the information of the equivalent parts of your strategic plan. For instance, the beneficiaries you're targeting, the impacts.
So thank you. I think we're ready to move to the questions.
Yes, we are. Thanks for opening up the mic. I wasn't finding my unmute button here, so thank you, Andrea. Yes, so it has come to we have now some time for addressing the various questions that there might be. We have also received a couple of questions from the public, some of the actors that couldn't make it to this meeting. So we will also bring up a bit of the questions that we've received on their behalf. But let's first begin with some of the people who are here and see if you have questions that you'd like to present to any of the people who have already spoken. If you believe it's easier for you to write the question in Spanish in the chat box, please also feel free to do so. As you all know, Maria Andrea presented to you the list of countries. We already had a Q&A session in Spanish, and we wanted to make sure that we were covering also countries from the Caribbean whose mother tongue is English. This is why we're having the session in English as well. But please also feel free, if you speak Portuguese or Spanish, to write down your questions, and I'll do my best to translate them. In the meanwhile, I'm going to give the possibility for Damieta to open up her microphone and help us with your question. Damieta?
Hola.
Hola.
From Costa Rica. I'm talking from Costa Rica. Hi.
So good to have you here with us.
Thank you. I have a question. Okay. About I'm hearing everything is about like adultos mayores. Sorry, I'm gonna speak. Like both.
I think we have a bit of a communication problem. So if you want, why don't you turn your camera off? And please feel free if you want to
Adultos mayores.
speak up
Okay.
the question in Spanish.
We're gonna
Go
be like
ahead.
startups. Okay. We have a project. Can you hear me now?
Sorry, Damieta, I think we're losing you. For some reason, I can't hear you, but maybe if you can write us down the question on the chat, and then we go back to it.
Yes. So there we go. So Osvaldo.
Hello. Yes, I'm calling from Ecuador. So I have some questions. We have an initiative for technology education in order to recruit caregivers and recruit and show the services for person that will need the service. So my first question is, this initiative is only for enterprises constituted in Latin America, or if we have an enterprise constituted in the United States that is part of Inter-American Bank, is possible to apply or not?
Yes, Osvaldo, you can apply if you're a company outside, like established outside Latin America and the Caribbean. The important thing is that you want to implement your project in this region. That's the important part, but then you can be established in Japan or the United States, whatever you want, that'll be possible. Yeah.
Okay, another question. Okay, how is the mechanism to give transparency of, for example, if I win, how I make a report, all the things that will be supported by the funds are executed, and the company are executing the funds given.
Sorry, I didn't get that quite well. Could you repeat it, please?
Yeah, how is the mechanism to give transparency of the management of the funds given?
Okay, so we sign a contract, actually, or the company signs a contract with Impactia. That's our implementer, star, ally, and all.
Mhm.
And in that contract, you have the deliverables attached to each payment that you will
Okay.
receive. So basically, that'll be it. And then you have to provide periodically all the information, like the counterpart of money or in kind.
Okay. Okay. And the last one. If it's if I saw in the application form that it asked about if we have any experience making money with the services of caregiving or training of caregivers. So I have a technology company, but I have experience in sales of technology and other things. But in this kind of service, I don't have a company yet, or I don't make money in this kind of activity. So it's
So,
possible to apply.
so if you have a company that has a product that has been implemented in, I don't know, many years, or it doesn't matter how many time, or how much time, but what's important is that you have the experience and you have sales on that product. And if you want to silverize or adapt this service or product to older people, you can apply with the sales of that first product. That'll be okay.
Okay, yeah, and I have experience in solutions for oil companies. So it is
It's different.
the first initiative to be a social impact initiative for us. So I don't know if I don't have experience to selling services for caregiving or
But
training.
for example, let me give you an example. If there's a platform for training on different technical capabilities,
Mhm.
it's a platform that you can, I don't know, take many courses, but then you want to deliver a course specifically for training caregivers, you can do it because then you have the experience and the model, a solid business model of delivering trainings and courses and education, and you just want to adapt that product into one of the themes of Silver Region. So that could be the way you can apply. I mean, not with that specific topic, but if there's a way, that'd be example. The example.
Well, it's actually really good that you mentioned, because I'm going to tie it down to another one of the questions we received, that the Impactia team received some days ago. The question was coming from a company that has a marketplace of various types of services, many of them that apply to diminishing the dependency around caregivers, or some certain sort of caregiving services. Their question was, would it be okay for us to apply even if our platform was not exclusively created to deliver services around caregiving for people that are beyond 60 years of age? Or does the project need to be exclusively? And I'm sorry if I appear to be reiterative, but I just want to make sure that that the audience hears from you, Maria Andrea, a little bit what the position of the program is around projects that might be, could be a Silver Region type of program, but maybe they don't want to. They're not currently entirely as a silver focused company or service.
Just one. So they can apply if their intention is to adapt that product or service for older people. With that in mind, that could be amazing for them to apply. There will be no problem. But that you must have the intention. You must have a approved product that you have worked with.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah,
Okay?
yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question, Osvaldo. I'm going to go ahead with Damieta, but I'm not sure I understand the question. So, Damieta, I guess you're giving, you're telling through your chat, you're telling us that there is a project that you've been involved with that's not starting entirely from zero. You're already working with a community of older adults, older persons, where there's caretaking. But there's also you're also offering an environmental a project where there's contact with the environment, etc. So I'm not too sure if the question is, if we have all the elements to the question, but her question is if they should apply, if they should go ahead to present the project, and I guess maybe part of the answer could emphasize on which are the key criteria that you are using to applicants that want to join the program. A piece of her question has to do with the fact that they are mixing rural and urban context as part of the project.
So, okay, let me start with Damieta's first part of the question. What I would say, because it's not as clear for me, it's that if it's a project, but it's not under a company's umbrella, then they couldn't apply. You need to have a legally established company or for-profit organization in order to apply to Silver Region. And that would be the first one. Juan, sorry, what was the next question?
The second part of the question was the project takes place in an urban and rural setting, and also they are part of the project has to do with training, but they're a little bit. I guess part of the question is, should they present the whole project, or should they present a piece of the project that has, a lot more emphasis, maybe with what Silver Region is wanting to offer?
Okay, so they don't have to choose, actually. You can present several projects. You can present the big one, or if you want to present like individual projects, that could work too. So yeah, it's not that if you apply once with one project then the platform will block you. No, we're open to discuss the different projects and review them. So you don't have to choose, basically. And
then we have another question, Andrea, and rural, urban, and rural. Does it matter? Are there any indications regarding the setting in which a project must present itself?
No, it doesn't. The thing is that, of course, we're looking for projects that reach the most vulnerable populations, but it's not mandatory to work with whether in rural or urban areas. So
great, thank you. Finally, we have another question from Christian. He says the terms of reference indicate that initiatives must have been implemented and have accredited sales that are greater than $0. He's explaining to us that his company has made an initial sale of a prototype pilot that generated some revenue, even if it's small. And their company is not exclusively dedicated to the silver economy. He has two main questions. A, does the prototype sale or pilot test meet the standard of implementing and sales of more than $0? And the second question is, if a company applies with a single specific project or an initiative that aligns with the themes, even if its core business is not entirely focused on the silver economy.
Okay, so I'm going to start for the second one. Yes, you don't have to be just aligned with silver economy. You can just have a great product that you want to adapt for this population. And for the first one, if the prototype or the pilot did have some sort of revenue, then yes, it can count as sales. So as we said, we don't expect a big number on sales. We just want to make sure that you have tested the product. That'll be it.
Thank you so much. If there's no further questions, I guess we can start closing up the meeting. Not before, maybe just giving us the chance of also giving some closing words, I guess. And from our side, and partly the Impactia team, I guess we are very excited because of the robustness, but because of the capacity of change that we've seen in the companies, organizations that have participated in the program so far. We've seen companies that had some ideas, but they were very much willing to, be fed by other ideas, by capacities from experts, and have grown significantly as the program has gone by. The companies as well that have been selected, not only to go on to acceleration phases, but to the investment piece, the investment opportunities, are some of those projects that you see them and you get goosebumps because they're amazingly important from the viewpoint of the type of impact on how many people's lives they could eventually be touching, the scalability of them, the wisdom behind the founders and the people that are there trying to move the program into growth. So all in all, I mean, this is of course a great chance as well to thank IDB Lab, to thank Cesana Foundation, and the rest of the partners, of course, we've had the pleasure of working with in a Silver region. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your vision around what we've been building here. It is incredible, and we do know that the results and the impact will go for many, many years to come after the program has been implemented as well. So thank you for giving us the opportunity of being part of this great initiative.
Thank you all.
Andrea, your last words.
So everyone, it's been a pleasure to be today with you here, but I want to invite you for this not to be the last time that we meet. I want to invite you to apply to this call because you are the ones that are changing the silver ecosystem. You are the one that are helping us to actually enjoy longevity and have a good quality of life for us in that age. The other important thing for me is when we think about silver population, we think about the people that are over 60 years old now. But the reality is that all of these services are for us, for the millennials and for the centennials and for the coming generations. So you are the ones who are making this possible, and we want to have you in Silver Region.
There we go. Well, thank you so much. Thanks to everybody having joined the meeting as well, and those that will be seeing the recording or who are watching the recording now, probably after we've closed down the live session. If you have any further questions, we will be anyhow open to receiving them. Use the available channels on the website or on any of the social networks of the institutions that you see here, of Impactia, of Grupo Impacta, of Fundación Cesana, Latimpacto, any of the ones that have been in one way or another joining this session. We'll be there for you to answer the questions. Please do also share this with other people that you think might be key for the silver economy to grow. And thanks for giving us a bit of your time. Goodbye. Until next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you.